Hi, my name is Caroline Erkman, and I'm a sophomore at Lenore Ryan. And today I'll be talking about how microbes relate to a college campus. So, to start off, microbiology deals with things you can't see, such as bacteria, fungus. It's always around us in our environment. You have to look under a microscope to see it. I'm actually in microbiology right now, so it's pretty interesting to me. Why is this important? Well, right now I'd say microbiology is a big part of our lives because COVID-19 is definitely on that topic and it's affecting all of us. So understanding how things spread, that's a huge part of today's society, is learning how to deal with this virus and how it spreads and how to take precautions against the spread. My motivations towards this project is I'm a nursing major, so I really need to know this stuff and I'd like to study it. I'm actually interested in it. So the question I'm going to be asking today, are there certain surfaces on a college campus that have higher contamination than others? So like, are there surfaces that are contaminated with more bacteria than others, like a door handle versus a keyboard? What are these surfaces? Like I said before, door handles, just tables, desks, stuff like that. If there are, why are these surfaces contaminated with more bacteria? And that is what I'm researching. So, the background info for my project. In general, there are many microorganisms on a college campus. This is because there's a lot of people living on campus and interacting with each other. A study from the National Library of Medicine says that just the contact in general, of door handles, so it saw that there were a lot more microbes on door handles than anything else at a college campus. This is really dependent on which college campus you're at, but in general, microbes are everywhere on a college campus. There's two types of bacteria. There's residential and transient. Residential bacteria, there's actually bacteria or microbes that reside on your hands all the time. Like Staphylococcus is one of them. Some strains of that can't be harmful at all. But there's also transient bacteria and microbes, which are the microbes that reside on like door handles or cups or things that you touch every day. And these things can carry toxic microbiota, which is not good. And that's the microbiota that gets transferred everywhere and can cause infection. Surface type and microbial survival. A lot of how microbes survive depend on what surface they're on. So if a microbe is on hydrophilic, like a hydrophilic surface, which means on a surface that is covered in moisture, then the growth of the microbes will be easier to grow. So, roughness also has a huge impact on whether the transmission of microbes will be better or not, or worse, That has to do a lot with friction. So the surface type of microbes residing on something with a rough surface is pretty big. So the hypothesis that I have is there are some surfaces on a college campus that will harbor more bacteria than other places on campus. So this is dependent this is all revolves around the population of how many students are on campus, the interaction of the students, just people living in the same space. So that's a big part of the project. It just depends on certain factors. So for my study, I originally planned to swab like surfaces around Lenore, but I was unable to because of COVID and being sent home. I was unable to do that. So for my project, I'm going to analyze some certain studies that I found and what their conclusions were to swabbing around different campuses or public areas. So some of these areas will include college universities, an office or a workplace, and a hospital. So the first one is DePaul University in Chicago, Illinois. The study was conducted on 70 frequently used surfaces. These were just assumed to have a lot of microbiota. So they swabbed keyboards, public telephones, drinking fountains, student desks, elevators, copy machines, and vending machines. The study found and concluded that the telephone mouthpieces and drinking fountains had the most colonies growing after they were swabbed. And then keyboard, elevator buttons, telephone mouthpieces had a lot of Staphylococcus aureus. And this is a bacteria that causes MRSA, which is a very serious skin disease. But this strain found on the keyboard and elevator buttons was not penicillin-resistant Staphylococcus. That's what MRSA stands for. Oh, shoot. Pace University is the second college campus that I looked at a study at, and they took 35 total sites and in 9 different areas they swabbed. So 5 of these sites were dining hall, lecture hall, restrooms, computer lab, and entrances. So from these sites, the dining hall, the utensils used for self-serve had the most microbiota. The lecture hall, like the desks, had the most microbiota and microorganisms growing. The restrooms had the floors, and the hand dryer buttons had a lot. The computer lab, obviously the keyboards, and then the main entrance had the most colonies growing. So the third one is an office. It is similar to a college, and it's because a lot of people go to the same place and they do the same thing every day, much like a college campus. Fomites, they are objects that hold microbiota, and there's a lot of fomites around. One is your phone, honestly. In this study, they took 328 samples from an office or offices around the country, and they found that they swabbed stuff like desktop, computer mouses, and phones, but they found that these 3 things had the most microbiota on them and bacteria. So cubicles versus conference rooms. This means, well, there were more bacteria found in small cubicles than conference rooms. And then the door handles and light switches barely had any bacteria on them. These are some graphs of, I found these kind of interesting, of certain, the number of microbiota found on each of the sites, like the chair to the arm, the tabletop, the mouse, the desk. You can obviously see that there are a couple that have a lot more on them. So the fourth one is a hospital. This one, It has a lot to do with nosocomial infections, which are like infections transmitted in the hospital. This is a study from the Journal of Clinical Microbiology. It has to do with Staphylococcus aureus, which is one of the main infectious microbes in a hospital that spreads quickly. So the time period that Staphylococcus aureus stays on some plastics and fabric is crazy. So polyethylene plastic, it stays on there for 22 to 90 days. Polyester plastic, 1 to 56 days. And fabric, it remains on there for a good while. So the importance of this is to know that the duration that things stay on surfaces really causes the spread of infection, because people go and touch those things and they just remain on those things for a while. So the analysis, I found that there were like 4 different dependent factors that relate to the spread and contamination of certain areas. So the type of surface, obviously. So like if the surface is rough, or if it's, wet and damp. Certain microbiota types adhere to hands and surfaces, so that microbes are really picky of where they reside. Frequent use through physical contact with a large population. So if there's one specific thing that's put in contact with a lot of people, there's definitely going to be a lot more bacteria on it. And then confined personal contact. So like the cubicles, for example, people use their mouse and their keyboard and their telephone all the time, but it's personal contact and it's very confined. So overall, I narrowed down my study to these 4 things. In conclusion, my hypothesis was answered yes. There are some surfaces on college campuses that will harbor more bacteria than other places on campuses. So there's a lot of items of frequent direct contact. And the main ones I found were keyboards, phones, mouses, and a couple other ones like restrooms. Those are obvious. But this kind of helped me to get an idea of what I would do if I did something next year or next semester to further my studies, so I could narrow down to what actual things I would swab on Lenore Ryan's campus. And then the downfalls, well, my original plan fell through, so that's definitely a big downfall. But at least I got some new ideas. And these are my sources. Thank you for your time.